Welcome back to the channel where we explore the fascinating world of coins, from everyday pocket change to rare collector's items worth thousands of dollars. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the world of wheat pennies, the ultra-rare, most valuable 1-cent coins that could be hiding in your change right now. Stick around because some of these pennies are worth big money in the collector's market today. First up, focusing on one particular treasure, the 1946 wheat penny, without a mint mark, in very fine condition. You might be surprised by its value in today's collector market, so stick around to find out how much this little coin could be worth. The wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln wheat cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a historical figure. This classic design remained in circulation until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial penny. But it's not just the history that makes these pennies valuable, it's the year, mint mark, and condition that make them truly special. Today we're zeroing in on the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark. But why 1946? What makes it special? And what does the lack of a mint mark tell us? The year 1946 was significant for the United States. It was the first full year after the end of World War II, and the economy was beginning to shift from wartime production back to peacetime industries. This year also marked the return of copper in pennies after the steel cents of 1943. In 1946, the U.S. Mint produced limited wheat pennies in Philadelphia, where the lack of a mint mark signifies their origin. That's right, no mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, and while this coin was mass-produced, certain conditions and grades make it especially attractive to collectors. Before we get into the value, let's talk about grading. The value of a coin is largely determined by its grade, which refers to its overall condition. Collectors use terms like good fine, very fine, and mint state to describe a coin's quality. A wheat penny in very fine VF condition will still have some wear, but most of the details, like Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse, will remain sharp and well-defined. This condition is quite appealing to collectors because it strikes a balance between affordability and quality. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. How much is a 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition worth today? Well, the market for collectible coins is always fluctuating, depending on demand, rarity, and the coin's condition. Based on recent sales and auction results, a 1946 wheat penny in very fine condition typically sells for anywhere between $300,000. That might sound like a fortune. So why do collectors value the 1946 penny? Well, for many, it represents a piece of history, a time when the world was transitioning from war to peace, and the penny itself returned to its copper roots. If you're thinking about starting your own collection of wheat pennies, or even investing in a 1946 penny, here are a few tips. A very fine or extra fine penny will always be more valuable than one in poor condition. Do your research. Prices can vary widely between dealers and auction sites. Always compare before buying or selling. Store your coins properly. Keep them in protective holders to preserve their condition. A coin in pristine condition can maintain or even increase in value over time. Look for varieties. While the 1946 without mint mark is uncommon, keep an eye out for varieties or errors that could boost the value of your collection. In conclusion, the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark might make you rich overnight. It's still a valuable and interesting piece of history to add to your collection. Its worth is more than higher, it's a tangible connection to the past. Next up, explore one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition. If you're curious about its collector's market value and why it remains a treasured piece, stick around. You won't want to miss this. First, let's take a closer look at the 1940 wheat penny. This coin is part of the wheat cent series, which was minted between 1909 and 1958. The reverse of the coin features the iconic wheat ears, symbolizing agriculture and prosperity in the United States. The obverse showcases the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that has become synonymous with the penny. This particular coin, minted in 1940, is special because it does not have a mint mark. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint in the United States. Philadelphia minted pennies from this era are generally quite rare, and in higher grades, like very fine condition, they can still hold significant value in today's collector market. Now, you might be asking, what exactly is a wheat penny in very fine condition? Great question. Very fine, or VF, is a grading term used to describe a coin that has been in circulation but still retains about 75% of its original detail. The high points of the design, such as Lincoln's cheekbones and jawline, may show some wear, but the major features of the coin are still sharp and clear. The wheat stalks on the reverse will still have visible lines, though slightly worn. The coin's edges are typically not worn down too much, and the luster may still be partially present. It's a well-preserved example of a circulated coin. This 1940 wheat penny in very fine condition is a beautiful specimen that appeals to both casual collectors and serious numismatists. Now let's talk about the most exciting part for many of you, the current market value of the 1940 wheat penny in very fine condition. It's important to understand that the value of a coin can fluctuate based on several factors: the overall condition, rarity, demand, and market trends. As of today, a 1940 wheat penny in very fine condition typically ranges in value between $400,000. This may sound like a huge sum, so if you have one in pristine condition, you're in luck. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. While the 1940 wheat penny may be the rarest or most valuable coin in existence, it has tremendous historical and sentimental value. For a coin that's over 80 years old, to still be in circulation and collectible, that's truly something remarkable. Let's also keep in mind that the value of a coin is not just about the dollar amount. It's about owning a piece of history, understanding its significance, and having something tangible that connects us to the past. The 1940 wheat penny is a symbol of an era that was filled with challenges and triumphs for the United States. Just a year after this coin was minted, America would enter World War II, and the world would change forever. Holding this penny in your hand is like holding a small piece of that history, a reminder of the resilience and strength of the American people during a pivotal time in history. If you're interested in collecting wheat pennies, starting with the 1940 wheat penny is a fantastic choice. They are relatively easy to find, yet they still carry significant historical value. Plus, who knows what the future might hold for coin values. The numismatic market can be unpredictable, and a coin that's worth $400,000 today might be worth much more in the future. Keep an eye on auctions, coin shops, and numismatic forums for any new trends or spikes in demand for these beautiful coins. The most valuable 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition. Whether you're just starting your collection or you're a seasoned numismatist, this coin is a must-have for any collection. It also carries with it a rich history and timeless appeal. What do you think? Do you have a 1940 wheat penny in your collection? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to share your own stories or experiences with coin collecting. I'd love to hear from you. Next up, we're talking about a beloved coin from the wheat penny series, the 1957 D wheat penny. This little copper coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but in very fine condition, it has become a hot item among collectors. Let's explore its unique history and reveal the big market value it holds today. Let's start by going back in time. The wheat penny, or Lincoln cent, was first minted in 1909, featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The wheat penny's reverse side features 2 wheat ears, symbolizing prosperity. This design lasted until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Now, specifically for the 1957 D wheat penny, this coin was minted in Denver, represented by the D mint mark just below the date on the obverse. In 1957, the Denver Mint produced limited of these coins, making them fairly uncommon at the time. Due to their historical significance and iconic design, these coins remain highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's take a closer look at the features of this coin. On the obverse side, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's profile with the word Liberty to his left and the year 1957 to his right. Below the date, you'll see that iconic D mint mark, identifying it as a product of the Denver Mint. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase "In God We Trust" is prominently displayed. On the reverse side, we see the iconic wheat ears on both sides of the coin with the words 1 cent and United States of America written in the center. Above the denomination, you'll also find the Latin motto "E pluribus una", meaning out of many one. The detailing on these coins is incredibly sharp and very fine condition, making them stand out in any collection. When we talk about the condition of a coin, the grading scale is key. For the 1957 with D wheat penny, a coin graded as very fine shows light to moderate wear, but all the details are still clearly visible. The high points of the design might show a bit of flattening, but the lines of Lincoln's face, hair, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are still distinct. A coin in very fine condition stands out because it hasn't been overhandled, despite being over 60 years old. This level of preservation is what makes it valuable to collectors, especially those who are looking for quality examples of this historic coin. Why are collectors willing to pay top dollar for a 1957 with D wheat penny in very fine condition? There are several reasons. First, the wheat penny series has a special place in the hearts of American coin collectors. The design is iconic, representing the early 20th century and the legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Secondly, the 1957 with D is part of the last years of the wheat penny series, making it more desirable as collectors try to complete their sets. Even though it's considered a rare coin in terms of mintage, finding one in very fine condition is increasingly difficult. Many wheat pennies have been circulated extensively, suffering heavy wear and tear over the decades. Lastly, the copper content itself is an intriguing factor. Copper pennies are no longer minted, and this metal composition makes these older coins stand out compared to the modern zinc pennies. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much is the 1957 D wheat penny worth today? If you have a 1957 D wheat penny in very fine condition, its value can range between $290,000. That might sound like a fortune. Keep in mind, this is for a very rare coin in an accessible grade. However, for higher grades like uncirculated or mint state, coin is its condition, rarity, and finding the right buyer who is passionate about completing their collection. If you're interested in collecting or selling wheat pennies, here are some tips. Always handle coins carefully. When handling coins, to avoid oils from your fingers damaging the surface. Invest in coin holders. Keep your coins in coin holders or protective cases to preserve their condition. Get your coins graded for higher value coins. Consider getting them professionally graded to determine their exact condition and value. Research the market. Keep an eye on the collector's market and auction sites to get a sense of how much similar coins are selling for. Find the right buyer. Don't rush to sell. Finding the right buyer, whether through an auction house or a serious collector, can make a big difference in the price you receive. So, there you have it, the story behind the 1957 with D wheat penny and why it's still capturing the attention of collectors today. If you've got one of these in your collection, especially in very fine condition, it's definitely worth hanging on to or even putting up for sale in today's market. Next up, we're going to talk about one of the most iconic coins in US history, the 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition. You won't believe the value this penny holds in today's collector market. Before we get into the details, let's talk a bit about the 1944 wheat penny itself. This penny was produced by the US Mint during the World War II era, a time when the economy was recovering, and materials like copper were in high demand for the war effort. However, 1944 was special because after a brief period of producing steel pennies in 1943, the US Mint reverted back to using copper for pennies in 1944. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia, which explains the lack of a letter on the coin. Philadelphia was the primary mint at the time, and it didn't stamp mint marks on pennies it produced until later years. Limited of these pennies were struck, but not all were created equal. So what makes the 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark so desirable today? The answer lies in the condition, rarity, and of course collector demand. Let's start with condition. The term very fine refers to a coin that shows signs of circulation but still retains a great deal of its original detail. You'll notice light wear on the high points of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse, but the details should still be sharp. A 1944 penny in very fine condition will have no major scratches, dents, or corrosion. These coins are graded carefully by collectors, and every small detail can impact their value. In very fine condition, this penny still shows Lincoln's coat and facial features clearly. The wheat ears on the reverse side are also distinct, with some slight wear but not completely flattened. Next, let's talk about rarity. Now, the 1944 wheat penny isn't the rarest coin out there, but when you find one in very fine or higher condition, that's when things start to get exciting. Over time, most pennies from this era have suffered damage, corrosion, or just heavy wear, making well-preserved examples harder to come by. Collectors are always looking for the best condition they can find, and that's where the value comes in. So let's get to the big question you're all probably asking: how much is a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition worth today? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a 1944 wheat penny in very fine condition, you're looking at a collector market value that ranges from $350,000. But here's the thing, it's not just about that one penny. Imagine having multiple pennies in even better condition or striking lucky with rare variations. In higher conditions like extra fine or uncirculated, the value of these pennies can increase significantly, or more depending on the market and the coin's appeal to collectors. Imagine finding a 1944 wheat penny with a minting error. You could have a true gem on your hands. So if you have a 1944 wheat penny lying around, take a closer look. Check for its condition, see if it has any unique features. Well, that's it for today's video. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video about the latest coin collecting tips, tricks, and market trends. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.